Hey everyone, so this is our syllabus for History 131, S04, which is Synchronous Online. This is a tour of the syllabus. I will not read every single word, but I'm going to go over the major points so that you've got some detailed discussion of it from me. And of course, you need to mark this reviewed after you've either read the syllabus and or watched this video. And that is in that course information section on our Blackboard shell. You'll see a button that says to mark reviewed. So once you have gone over this, please be sure to mark it reviewed and do so by Friday, August 14th. So here's our syllabus. We are going to be meeting virtually via Blackboard Collaborate in our Blackboard shell on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:43 p.m. The last day to drop the course without a grade penalty, that is to drop it and have a WD that does not affect your GPA, is October 21st, 2020. And now here's my information. So I have virtual office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. This is going to be via Skype, and with your JCC office accounts, you all have Skype accounts as well, and those links are posted in the My Instructor section in Blackboard. My office is in Steam if there is a situation that requires a face-to-face meeting. Because of screen sharing tools and all the great things that are available to us virtually, hopefully we can keep each other safe and keep office hours and meetings virtual. My office phone number is 919-464-2460. I will be in my office on Mondays and Wednesdays. I will be working from my home office on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Now, if you need to reach me, the Google Voice number might be the best number to use. You can leave voicemails with that number as well. And then my email is the best way to reach me. I respond to them pretty quickly. I always respond within 24 hours unless I'm experiencing some sort of emergency, which if that is the case, you all will be informed via the announcements section of our Blackboard page. Hopefully there will be no emergencies, but if you send me an email late at night, I will probably not reply until the next morning. I have 2 young children that wake up crazy early, so I don't stay up super late, and also I don't really want to be checking my work email at 9, 10 o'clock at night anyway, just like I'm sure you don't want to be checking your school email and working on stuff at 9, 10 o'clock at night either. So we are going to start with pre-Columbian North America. So we're going to talk about native societies, what they were actually like, different customs and things that they did, where they lived, what their lives were like. We're going to start with that. So, and then we're going to talk about colonization and different types of colonization, European life in the Americas, in the colonies. We're going to go through the Revolution. We're going to talk about the early Republic, and we're going to go all the way to the end of Reconstruction after the Civil War. So we are a synchronous online course. We will be meeting virtually. So we'll be in different places physically, but we'll be in the same place virtually on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:43 p.m. You are expected to log into your computer to our Blackboard Collaborate session at the scheduled meeting time and day. It's like being in a classroom at the time class starts. So we're going to use Blackboard Collaborate. It's got some really cool tools like breakout rooms and whiteboards and stuff that I plan to utilize. This is, the first time JCC is doing synchronous online classes, so we're going to be playing around with a bunch of different stuff, experimenting with ways to have class. For example, the first 2 weeks, and I might mention this again when we do the Blackboard tour video, but the first 2 weeks of class are going to be one format. This next 3 weeks of class are going to be another format, and then I'm going to ask you which one you liked better, and I will build the rest of the semester based on what you like. I have all the content ready to go. It's just going to be how you want to participate with that content, how you want to engage with that content, and what you want our class to look like. So you will have a say in what this semester looks like. So, again, you got to log in at the start, like you got to be there at the beginning of class, just like you would in a classroom. You know, I'm going to ask you guys stuff. You're going to ask each other stuff. You're going to ask me stuff. You know, be prepared to participate. Okay. A note on presentation is below. I'll talk about that. So yeah, you do need to participate. We'll have group discussions. We're going to have debates, like all kinds of cool stuff. So you're going to need to be involved. If you have a webcam and if you have internet bandwidth that supports using a webcam, and you're able to use a webcam, please do so, because it makes it just a lot easier to interact, and for your classmates as well. Please contact me if you are unable to do so, just because we just need to talk through that. That's me, I'm your instructor. So there are going to be some other participation expectations, including some digital stuff through your textbook software that you're going to have to access through the code that you're going to get with your textbook. And, you know, just other, you know, the in-class stuff is going to be the bulk of it. And then we're going to have some outside of class little short things that you'll do to kind of review some of the aspects of the class, the themes and things in the textbook. So you're going to write an argument-driven, evidence-based essay analyzing significant historical developments, and we're going to use MLA. I wish we could use Chicago. Unfortunately, we cannot. And then there's a great writing tips worksheet. It's a handout in the Getting Started section at the top of the lessons portion of the Blackboard shell. Take a look at that. I've also attached it in your paper assignment, which is about halfway through the semester. Please read that. It really will help you. It also talks about citation format and things like that, so please take a look at it. Let's see. We're going to learn to read, think, and write historically using primary source documents. Practice critical thinking by creating evidence-based arguments and challenging arguments you are given. We're going to talk about the 3 C's, change, continuity, and contingency, to learn how the struggles we face are not unique to our time and understand what predecessors did when confronted by similar problems. So change, obviously things are different. Continuity, another kind of obvious one, they stay the same. And then contingency are these little moments where things could have gone one way and they went a totally different way. And we have several examples throughout the semester. In fact, my favorite one is week 14, I think. So, very excited about that. So, we'll talk about all kinds of different historical moments where the decisions of individuals like you changed the course of history, which is super cool. So, let's see. You're going to ask and answer your own questions. You know, that we're going to do that through groups as a class. That kind of stuff's going to be cool. We're going to engage in historical interpretation. You're going to do that mostly through a project option. You get 2 different choices for your project, and you pick one of those. Academic arguments about history, using reasons and evidence supporting those reasons. You're going to do that both as groups and also, you know, in your paper, things like that. And yeah, we're going to consider questions of race, class, gender, sexuality, region, ethnicity, and culture to evaluate the continuing struggles for equality and access in America. And we've got some books. So we got these. Give Me Liberty, that's your textbook. Voices of Freedom, that's your document reader. So you have these 2 books. Give Me Liberty is full of, it's a secondary source. That means that Eric Foner, who's a historian, compiled a bunch of different sources and pieces, and he wrote a book. So it's his narration of history. So that's a secondary source. It's written by a scholar. Voices of Freedom is a primary source. It is a book full of primary sources, which are documents written by people who lived through the period. So we're going to have things, you know, by people like John Smith and Carrie Chapman Catt and Frederick Douglass. And so we're going to have all kinds of different folks who lived through these events, and we're going to read their words and their ideas about them, and we're going to talk about those. This is a package ISBN for that. You will need an access code to set up your account for inquisitive activities and other supplemental learning tools that will be included in course assignments. So you do need to have an access code. Then we have some additional readings on Blackboard as well. Not like a ton or anything, but occasionally there's a document that, you know, does a better job than something in the book, or there's, you know, a piece of an article or something that really helps explain a concept. So I have included a few things here and there. Let's see. So yeah, stable internet, really, really important. You can use the Blackboard Collaborate app and be in class on your phone if you need to. And that's going to make things a little bit difficult, but if that is your primary method to join the class, if that's the way it needs to be, then that's the way it needs to be. And then, if you have any access issues or questions, please contact me, and if I don't have the answer, I'll find someone who does. And let's see, so we do use eText in here. Now, just to be clear, if you want to opt out of the eText, you can, but you can't opt out of the assignments. So you would still need that access code, and you would still need to read. So it would be, you'd get like a loose leaf copy of the book instead. And you need to do that no later than 3 days from the start date of the course. So you need to let me know immediately if you didn't want to do the eText. So basically, what are we going to do in here? Well, we're going to answer some questions. How do we explain the rise of the early American Republic and its subsequent division? Between the age of pre-contact civilization and the outbreak of civil war in 1861, North America became a colonized land as native civilizations were plundered and went to war with Europeans, followed by the colonies' war with an empire and the founding of a republic. The United States emerged from war a weak union with sectionalist divides. These changes were neither inevitable nor welcomed by all natives, Africans, or European colonists. By paying attention to the voices of contemporaries, we will try to answer a series of perplexing questions in American history. Some of the things we're going to think about. What does freedom mean? What does mainstream history leave out or ignore during this era? And what is the proper relationship between individuals and government? So we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. So topics include Native American ways of life, methods of colonization, the American Revolution, the rise of popular politics, sectionalism, and others. So I know you're like, okay, Amanda, whatever. How are you going to grade us? And yeah, you can call me Amanda. I'm okay with it, as long as you know it's respectful. Miss Z is fine. Zakonis is really hard to pronounce. I've been married for over 7 years now, and my father still can't say it. So if you need to say Miss Z or Miss Amanda or Amanda, all of that's fine as long as we talk to each other respectfully. I have no problem with the use of my first name. All right. So grading. So 20% of your grade is going to be participation. And that's going to be, we're going to have small things that you do in, groups in class. We're going to have discussion that we have together as a class. We're going to have a debate. I already mentioned that. You're going to have inquisitive activities from your textbook publisher to Blackboard. That's going to be that thing you need the access code for. If people are not reading or participating, which, there are a lot of you registered, so hopefully that will not be the case. But if that is the case, I will have to start giving quizzes because the success of this class is largely determined by your participation. And I want our class to be successful. So please, I hope I don't have to do that. Please. That's largely going to be up to you guys. All right, so 40% of your grade is exams. There are 3 of them, and the dates are right there. There are multiple choice, true, false, and identification. I have an exam FAQ video. I have an identification example answer. I have study guides. I have, we'll go over this in class before the first exam. None of this will sneak up on you, I promise. The first test only counts for 10% because it's going to be your first one. Some of you may have never taken a test with identification or a history test in college, period, or a test with me, and all of that has different elements to it. So I make the first one worth 10%. Exams 2 and 3 are each worth 15% because by then you're familiar with the question style, how tests from me look and what is expected of you and all that good stuff. The last 40% of your grade is going to be analytical papers / assignments. You're going to write 1 3 to 5 page paper based on course readings addressing major themes in the course. It will be 20% of your grade. They're due on October 6th, which is my dad's birthday. He's also a historian, so I think it would make him happy to know that papers are due on his birthday. They'll be submitted on Blackboard. They'll run through Safe Assign. Your other major assignment will be a project of your choice. It's 2 options. So you can design your own historical monument or memorial, or you can create an educational outreach plan and a digital exhibit idea to fill in gaps in historical awareness. There are instructions for each of those under the week that the project is due. Those instructions also include videos of me going over the instructions in more detail. We will also talk about this in class, and we will also have a project workshop in class where you are working on your projects, and I'm literally there to answer any questions you have, guide you, help you, all that kind of stuff. So again, I do not design things to sneak up on you in any way, shape, or form. These due dates, you know, it's the first day of class. When you're looking at this syllabus video, I hope you looked at it. And the dates are here. So you know this from day one, what we're doing. And so I really, really, really want to make sure everyone has all the information they need to be successful in here. Projects are due November 13th. Presentations will begin the next week, and they'll go that like whole next week. We may get into a little bit the following week. I don't know. It depends. There are a lot of you, so it may be that it eats up a lot more of our semester, because I do want to have you all give you all time to present. It may be that you turn in the full presentation and do a shorter version because this is a larger class. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But these dates will remain the same. Okay, the Grade Center and Blackboard, you're going to find everything you need in there in terms of your grades, right? Each assignment has explicit instructions. I just told you, like the project ones have their own videos. The paper has a very clear set of instructions. And again, it's got that writing tips worksheet attached to the paper assignment, which has more details on like writing effectively, citing sources, all that kind of stuff. So I try to really make expectations clear and instructions clear. So the primary focus for all of these will be, did you answer the question or follow the prompt? Did you support your answer or argument with the proper evidence from class readings? That's for, you know, your paper or smaller assignments. For your project, did you use the sources that were specified in the instructions? So formatting and mechanics will play a smaller but still important role in my assessment of your writing. And each assignment has its own specific direction, so be sure to check those out. And of course, if you have any questions at all about any of them, please, please, please contact me. I am happy to go over stuff. Like I said, with virtual meetings and things like that, we can do screen sharing. And if my office hour meeting times don't work for you, email me and we'll set up something else. We'll make it work. We'll get you on track if you are struggling. The next step is that I will return things as efficiently as I possibly can as a human being person. So tests and papers will be returned within 2 weeks. Tests are usually much shorter. I have them due on Fridays usually because I end up grading them on the weekends because I'm super cool and have a very fun life. So the tests are usually returned within less than 2 weeks. Papers are within 2 weeks. The major projects, the projects will be within 2 weeks. Again, sometimes it's less than that, but that is the deadline I give myself and for you, so you know the latest you can expect those grades to come in. Smaller things like, a discussion board we might do in groups during class, those grades, debate grades, things like that we do in class, that'll be turned around faster within 1 week, probably sooner. Comments using the feedback options in Blackboard, and all that kind of stuff will be given to you very clearly. You'll get written feedback like on papers and projects. On papers especially, I can edit directly on the papers. I'll do that. I'll put comments directly in the papers, and then there will be a broader feedback to learner area where I'll do like the bigger, big picture comments. So I really do try to give a lot of feedback on things so that your grade doesn't just seem like some sort of arbitrary number that pops out of nowhere. I do want you to be able to read all of my feedback and comments and know exactly, some of the great things that you did and some of the things that maybe you need to work on for future assignments. Late work policy, this is an important one. I will not accept anything late without a documented excuse. There are some things that I will not accept at all, period. But nothing will get accepted without a documented excuse. This is like a doctor's note, a death in the family, a medical emergency. I know we are living in, frankly, what could be considered horrific times right now. And if, something COVID-related happens to you, I just need some sort of documentation. It does not necessarily have to be, like I don't need detailed medical information or anything like that, but I need something that documents the situation that I could use as a record, so that if I have to give an extension on a paper or if I have to reopen a test for you, I have that documentation, because I need to be sure that I'm being fair to everyone. You know, students who sleep in, for example, or forget about the test, they don't get to make it up. That's not a documented excuse. So those of you who do experience any sort of emergency and need to make something up, I just need some sort of documentation or record of the emergency situation. It needs to meet that criteria. And then we can figure out an extension or a change of the date or something like that to work with you. I will work with you. I just need to have that some sort of record. So late submissions of the projects and the papers will be deducted 5 points for each day. That is day, not class day, that they are late. Tests can be made up with a documented excuse, but late test submissions are not possible otherwise. In-class participation assignments cannot be made up. You are either there with us or you're not. Now, if you have a documented excuse, I can exempt that. I can make it disappear so it doesn't affect your grade negatively, but you can't make it up because you just weren't physically there. And then once it's 2 weeks past due, I won't accept anything late, even with the documented excuse. You know, it's just, at that point, it's too far behind. If it has no documented excuse and it's a paper or a project, it's been losing 5 points for 14 days. That's pretty rough. So once it's reached 2 weeks past due, I will not accept it. Okay, so we have, this is, what these are. So we're going to use MLA, and I don't know why this still says this, but we're going to use MLA. MLA, citation. There's a citation builder right here. Again, I said that writing tips worksheet has details on how to cite certain things for our class. And there is one extra credit opportunity currently that is offered. It's a discussion board option. It's in there. You can check it out. It's open all semester. It's not due until noon on the last day of class. Grades are on a 10-point scale, as you can see right here. Critical success strategies. Please check your email regularly. I mentioned that I will be checking my email very regularly. I need you all to do the same. The Blackboard announcements will be sent as email, and that is my primary way of contacting you. So please, you know, outside of class, that's going to be the way that I get up with you. So if I change a due date, I'll always move it away from us. I won't make it due sooner. But, you know, let's say you stay up all night getting ready for the test, and then I move it to, like, Sunday. And then you're like, oh, heck, I didn't need to stay up late. So please check your email. We're going to move quickly. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about hundreds and hundreds of years in a matter of, like, 17 weeks. So make sure that you are prepared to do things outside of class, like read, complete the inquisitive activities, you know, do research for things like your papers and your projects. And there are some weeks where you'll have lectures to listen to, and there are some weeks where we'll have part of our lecture delivered in class. Again, I'm going to try a couple of different things, and we'll see what we like, because I do want you guys to have a say in how this works. So, let's see. During class time, I am providing lecture outlines. Those are going to be, I'll go over those in the Blackboard tour video. And they are going to have keywords and discussion questions. You do not have to turn these in. These are resources for your note-taking. And all exam terms come from the keywords on your lecture outlines. So, like I mentioned earlier, the success of the class will be determined largely by your participation. So we each bring different experiences and skills to the class. Some will be more familiar with the literature or speak more often than others, and our goal is a supportive environment and lively give and take. So remember, we are using Blackboard Collaborate for our scheduled meetings. We meet 75 minutes twice a week. You'll be in front of your computer or electronic device for that period, and then you'll have some additional screen time as you complete other assignments. So, look, it's so important. I put it in there twice. I'm just going to... Okay, so disagreement is an important part of intellectual discussion. This is probably the most important thing. and arguing out issues is critical to a college education. Therefore, you should expect to disagree with the ideas or opinions of others, especially in your discussion sections, like if you break into groups and talk about a topic. Please always disagree in a respectful manner. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Use respectful language to refer to groups, individuals, and fellow students. You will hear me quote people who use words that are not appropriate to use. I am quoting those people. If you are talking about a group of people, do not use those words unless you are quoting something. Those words have fallen into disrepute. So if you have any questions about what is or is not appropriate, please feel free to reach out to me. Plagiarism and cheating will not be tolerated. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. It makes me so furious. And the reason why it makes me so furious is because you are all so much better and so much smarter than that. Please don't do it. Please. You will receive a 0 on the assignment and you will be reported. If you have any questions about what constitutes cheating or plagiarism, please ask me. There is a handout in the Getting Started section called Is This Plagiarism? That provides some basics on that. Please take a look at that. And if you have any other questions, please contact me. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so class attendance will be taken for each meeting period. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'll probably set up a poll for every time you come in to collaborate that says, are you here? And you can mark yes and you can mark no. If you're there, you'll get credit for being there. And that's how we'll do attendance. So we're going to do it like a seated class, like you're actually in front of me. I will notice if you leave too, so please don't log in and then leave thinking, oh, I got my present for the day. Or, you know, because if you're late or you leave early, that will count toward absences just like it would if you randomly left the classroom 15 minutes into a class. So please don't do that. If you have a reason or an emergency, please tell me beforehand if you can. And just communicate with me. That's all I ask. So you can miss 2 weeks of class. I do not recommend it because that's a lot. You know, I just talked about we're going to discuss hundreds of years of information. Missing 2 weeks is a lot to miss. Now, there are things that are beyond all of our control. We're all human beings, and I understand that there might be things that come up that require you to miss a week or two of class. Please communicate with me again. That's super duper important. Just like if I wasn't able to return your tests within that 2 week period because I had something going on, I would totally let you guys know. So if you have a reason why you can't come to class for an extended period, please communicate with me and let me know that. So if you miss more than 2 weeks, I do have to drop you from the class. However, if you are passing the class after I've dropped you, I can reinstate you. We can talk about that if there's an emergency that requires you to miss a few weeks. If you're doing all right in the class and we think you could be successful, you and I can talk about reinstatement. Okay, so for CCP students, you know, I don't think there's a lot of high school activities that are going on. I know you guys aren't taking any trips or anything right now, so I don't really think this is going to be a problem, but like band trips and things like that don't count as excused absences or documented excuses for JCC classes. If you have a question about something and are not sure about it, please feel free to ask. Religious and solemn observance policy, we have a form for that. If you need to miss class for any sort of religious reason, please let me know, and you need to get instructor approval at least 2 weeks prior to the date of the absence. You will be given the opportunity to make up all of your missed work. Student concerns, this is the very last section. We're almost done, but we're doing this via video, so we don't have to spend our first day spending 30 minutes on this, so yay. Okay, so usually I've just talked about communication about 40 million times. And usually communication can solve a lot of issues. Please, 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 if you have an issue, we have a faculty first policy, I like to call it. We're all grown-ups here. If there is an issue, you know, if I've said something that offends you, or if, you know, I had a tone that maybe seemed out of line, I have a very snarky sense of humor. And I've tried to be really clear that it's not personal, it's just I have a really snarky sense of humor and I can be sarcastic sometimes. I deeply believe in all of my students and their intelligence and success. And, you know, tone isn't very easily conveyed sometimes, and I may say something that comes off as snarky or comes off as sarcastic or comes off as negative, and I don't mean it that way, or I've, just misspoken or miscommunicated, because I'm a human being just like you, and I do that sometimes. Just like if you say something in discussion that can come off as, rude or, inappropriate, I will, say something. If it's really egregious, I'll say something right away. If it's something that's, maybe it's just a tone issue, I'll email you or contact you outside of class and just kind of communicate with you about it and work through it with you. I ask the same of you. I'm a normal human woman. I make mistakes sometimes, and hopefully that is where it stops. You and I talk about it, we figure it out, miscommunication or issue resolved, and then we're done. If the issue is larger than me, then there is a chart below on the steps you need to take to talk to people. Hopefully you will not need this chart. Hopefully we'll have a great semester and we'll be problem-free, but this is available for you in case you need it. And that, my friends, is the syllabus. That is 31 minutes of your life you will never get back. But hopefully now you have a very clear understanding of where we're going this semester and the things we're talking about and the policies we'll have in class. If you have any questions, please let me know. Remember to mark it reviewed in the course information section. And please feel free to contact me with any questions. Of course, you need to do this before our first class meeting on Tuesday, so hopefully you are doing that right now. And I will answer any questions or follow up with anything in our first class meeting. And I apologize for all the background noise. My husband and daughter are walking around making lunch, so hopefully it's not too bad on the recording as you watch the video. But yeah, that's the syllabus. Please contact me with any questions you have.